Mrs.G and peanut butter balls are on the menu. I'm going to start with my cup of graham cracker crumbs. Put my dry ingredients in first because it gets messy if you don't. It's a whole box of confectioner's sugar. Okay, I go ahead and stir this together just to mix it. Okay, that's mixed well enough. Now I'm going to put my peanut butter in. I like to use this plunger type measuring cup for this because it's easy just to push it out, then you don't have a big mess with your peanut butter. See? All nice and clean. Okay, this is the messy part. This is where your hands come in. So you want to get all the dry ingredients on the peanut butter. And as you mix it in, it'll kind of get a little bit more messy. I went ahead and took my ring off because this peanut butter is a lot messier than doing meatloaf. Meatloaf doesn't get stuck like this peanut butter does. So I'm just going to kind of work this around until I have a really dry mixture of peanut butter and it's all mixed together. Okay, so this consistency is dry. All the peanut butter is mixed well with my graham cracker crumbs and confectioner's sugar. So now I'm going to start adding a little bit of butter at a time. That in a minute. So I'm just going to pour that in, kind of work it around. See that I put that half a stick of butter in melted and the consistency has changed. If I squeeze it together, it'll stay somewhat. So our consistency is getting much better. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of butter at a time because if you get too much, it makes your chocolate won't stick to it. So I just add a little bit of butter at a time until I get the right consistency. See how the consistency is changing? Might have to melt a little bit more butter. Not too much though, because it's getting much stickier. Okay, I melted up about 2 tablespoons more butter. I'm not going to pour it all in because I want to make sure I need it before I do it. But you just keep working it. And it's getting nice and doughy now. Like kind of consistency of cookie dough. I am going to need it, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in. I'm going to need a little bit more. Okay, I added some more butter. It's getting good and sticky. Okay, so I ended up using about 1.5 sticks of butter instead. Makes me wonder if my confectioner's sugar, maybe the box was a little bigger than it usually is or something. Because it usually only takes not a half a cup of butter or a stick of butter. Okay, so see how this is kind of like cookie dough and it forms a ball of dough that sticks together well. It is not too sticky because it doesn't stick to my hands anymore. This is the perfect consistency. See how the consistency looks kind of like cookie dough? That's what you're trying to feel for. Okay, we're going to go roll these out and we'll dip them in chocolate. My very handsome helper today is Carson. Say hi, Carson. Hi. Okay, what we do is we get a spoonful at a time just to kind of keep the balls kind of a uniform size. We get a spoonful. Okay, and just kind of mash it together real good. And then roll it around. And then put it on the tray. We'll be back to you in a minute. Alright, we got all of the peanut butter balls rolled out, and I have put about 1/2 of your almond bark in a bowl. And I like to melt mine in the microwave, but you put it in for 30 seconds at a time. Do not heat it longer than 30 seconds at a time. Okay, this is the first 30 seconds. See, it looks like nothing's happened, but there has a little something happened. So I'm just going to stir it around, put it back in for 30 seconds. Okay, I've put it in the microwave 3 times. It's still got one kind of lump in there, so I'm going to put it back in for just about, I think 15 seconds will do. And then we'll be ready to dip. So this was 3 times in the microwave for 30 seconds each, and then 15 seconds just to get the last little bit done. With a fork, I've done this a whole lot, and I like to do it with a spoon. You do it the way you like to do it. So I just put mine in, and I just kind of use the tip of my spoon and roll it around. I got a lot of practice at this at my first job. There used to be a candy shop in our mall called the Peanut Shack. And that's where my first job was when I was 16. So I got a lot of practice making homemade candies and dipping these. So yours may not come out as pretty. It takes practice to make them nice and pretty when you dip them. I got all the peanut butter balls dipped except for 2, and the boys gladly ate them without the chocolate. I just didn't want to melt any more chocolate for 2 more balls. So this is what they look like. All they need to do is dry and they'll be ready to eat. And peanut butter balls are what's for dessert.